Can you imagine running through the forest in heels? I can.
Hi, I'm Danielle. I do too much. I like hair, talking, cosplay, music, art, and stuff.
Y'all know I be thugging. So in a previous video, I can't even take myself seriously. So in a previous video, I mentioned that the most thugnificent thing I've ever done was cut my leg wide open while hopping over a fence while running from the police. Grab you a snack. I'm a rich, detailed storyteller, so it's not going to be over quick. So I was a freshman in college, and it was a really big party school. Like, I mean, it might have been named #1 party school while I was in my tenure at the college, at the university. Anyway, so I was a very, very serious student. School has always made sense to me. Too bad it's over. And I was excelling in my studies, but I wasn't adjusting too well to being social with non-weirdos. I went to performing arts high school, so I spoke fluent weird and no normal. So I had already been in school for a bit, like a semester or so, and I decided it was time for me to go to my very first party. I had a lot of dance friends because I had joined 2 dance clubs. One of them was like a crew, and the other was a sanctioned, organized event, and I met very cool people through that. And in particular, I had 3 friends who were extra dance friends. I've already actually talked about 2 of them. It's Yas and Yas. I'll go ahead and link that. No one spoil anybody. If you haven't seen it, then just go watch it. That'll give you some context. Yes, I was still very much so in the throes of being enamored with just watch the video. And the other was a dance friend from my crew. We're gonna call him Jedi, and we are still friends today. I asked them, because they were dancey people, and if nothing else, I could connect to people with dance, if they had any upcoming parties that they were going to. Indeed they did. They were 2 years older than me, all of them. That day, I went back to my little shoe closet of a dorm and put on my outfit, applied makeup poorly. I had on what I referred to as my boob shirt and some tight black shorts, not unlike these. I had some black super tall wedges. I was really proud of myself. I don't know how to dress for nighttime, so that's the best I could do. I still don't know how to dress for nighttime. I hop in the car, we go to the place, and it's lit. Walking into this party was a lot of fun for me. I really pride myself on knowing that all my friends are hotties. Little chocolate drop self leading this pack of beautiful 6-foot+ men. Just like, you're welcome. These were all of my dance friends' friends. So there was a cypher right there, there's a dance circle right there, interpretive dance in the corner, like a normie circle out there. And did I mention there was a bonfire? So I'm having a good old time. I be getting it. This was during the height of my dance experience, so my freestyle was pretty legit. I had no shame because I had just come fresh out of a performing arts school, so I'm a dance. I'm not gonna give you a bop. You're getting choreography. You're getting eyes. I will spot. I'm gonna point, not flex those feet. You're going to have full extension on these long arms. And I was genuinely having a great time. Now, the thing about this party took place directly after midterms, but at my school, as soon as you're done with your last midterm, either you go home or you go hard. You cannot do both. Now at my school, however, some midterms are at straight up night, like night o'clock. So every last biochemistry major got out at 10, went home, rallied, and came immediately to this house. Now, I ever seen 70 wailing, science-plagued, just giving up on the world, reciting the Pythagorean theorem and other such equations while ticking. But I have. So every biochem major rolled up to the house party, because surprisingly, a lot of biochem majors were b-boys. Like a lot. So this party that is already almost at maximum capacity, barely enough room for a cipher and a dance circle, is suddenly getting hit by 70 plus b-boys. So no maximum capacity, can't move, can't breathe, can't dance, ironically enough, and stuff starts going off the walls. So in the kitchen, we're hearing crashes because there are too many elbows in the kitchen. There are glasses being shattered on the floor. Beer bottles are just shattering on the floor. The people outside are just like, it's crazy. People are getting mad. There's some tussles because people keep getting like shoved into each other, and like tempers are rising. And then there was this giant, loud, like ear-shattering crack from upstairs. Apparently someone broke a bed. They were studying. People are filing in. No one is leaving because the party is lit. It is lit. It's gone from lit to inferno in about 30 minutes. And the crowning cherry on top is the DJ thinks this is a great time to put on Fresh Prince's intro. And if you have never heard the sound of 100 plus people screaming at the top of their lungs in West Philadelphia, you are blessed and highly favored, because let me tell you, it was a war zone. And you can't hear Fresh Prince and not bop, so more people are getting shoved in the face and more fights are breaking out. More glasses are getting knocked off of places. More beer bottles are crashing to the ground, making the floor all sticky. It's like a nightmare. Here's the problem. This was a house party, and even though that is a college town, there are still actual residents around this house. Maybe when all the neighbors settled down before this even became a college-owned area, maybe their idea of the perfect suburban experience wasn't 100 plus drunken college students shrieking Fresh Prince at the absolute top of their lungs. So yeah, this is about how that went. In West Philadelphia, born and raised, on the playground is where I spend most of my days. Chilling around Max and Rex and yeah, they called the cops. And the cops did one whoop, and then there was a boot through the door. I'm not kidding. Presumably, they were just here to bust up an underage drinking party, which was not untrue. Not me. I would still go on 2 more years without having any alcohol. But that was not the case for most of these partygoers. So I, an underage college student, had not been drinking, and my friends, of-age college students, had. So why, you may ask, did we, sprint? Adding to my natural tendency to panic were my 3 over 6 foot companions and ride home getting it. I'm a good girl through and through, but when it's your first party and you still hype off of screaming Fresh Prince, you're with your older and wiser friends and your natural predator kicks in the door, you sprint. So my friends were like, I won't hesitate. They're like 300ing their way through this crowd. And I was stepping in step with them, because where I lack in height, I make up for in torque. So we bully our way out of the middle of the dance floor, through the kitchen, break some beer bottles on our way. I won't be ashamed to admit I won't hesitate. We're in the backyard where there is fire, which is not legal either. We have to side switch. It was like a war movie. It was like slow motion, tearing through the flames. In the backyard, there is a fence. And that's where the trouble began. But don't you worry, because not only do I have torque, I got ups. I'm basically a squirrel. Hop is really not magnificent enough a word to describe the beauty and grace with which all three of my giant friends sailed seamlessly over this fence. So, yes, sails. Yaz, sails. Jedi, sails. And so did I. Oh, yes! Danielle. It was just a wooden picket fence, no match for me and my ups. But mind you, I was in high heels. And thank the Lord, this was not a big neighborhood. We only had one neighbor's backyard to get through. The neighbor did not come out. Who knows, that might have been the neighbor who called the cops and they didn't want to meet some of the people who were like being very directly affected by that decision. We finally make it to the edge of their backyard. Hey, you know what's fun? 10-foot metal fences. After we escape the backyard, we're on the pavement. We're running towards the parking lot across from this neighborhood where we parked the car. And there happens to be a giant metal fence. And we could hear people in the back yelling still, the cops, the cops, the cops, they're still coming, keep running, go, go, go. And so my friend Yaz is in the lead. Yaz approaches the fence and immediately just squirrels up that stuff. So I'm like, okay. Then Yas approaches. And of course, if you've seen the video, you know what would happen. They have a very similar skill set. So he squirrels right up there too and just hops right down on the other side, keeps getting it. I love my friends. Jedi approaches the fence. I'm like, okay, the voice of reason is here. Let's see what Jedi does. I'm in the like last position. I'm like, okay, I'm like analyzing everyone's techniques, footholds, placement, torque, speed, viscosity. And he's like, it's time. Activate, and gets it right up that fence like he's a dang squirrel. I don't understand. I actually forgot to mention that Yas like kind of cut his cheek a little bit, like super anime style, like trying to get over the fence. He like went like this a little too close. And Yas kind of like dropped on his ankle funny. And Jedi was fine. And I'm like, well, while still sprinting, it's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. And I take a flying squirrel leap, kind of like a cat, in heels. And not just regular heels, wedges. So there's no dip in the arch of the foot for me to push. This is gonna be an arm heavy climb. Do these look strong to you? And I'm like, now is my time. I make it to the top of the fence, despite everything, despite all physics, manner of being, my own self-doubt about my squirrel capabilities, and I'm having a pretty thug time. I'm like, I did that. I'm at the top and I'm like, I am thugnificence incarnate. I swing my leg to go over the fence so I can drop down. I swing my other leg over the fence so I can drop down. And then I release my grip. You know when the Lord just shows you something in your life that you just need to change immediately? So, yeah, no. My short, as short as it was, very short, had caught the top of the gate. My leg skin was canceled. I got sliced, and then I fell. And you may be wondering, how did you get your ghost hologram to look so real in today's technology? Jedi stayed behind. He was like, she's gonna die. Broke my fall. He didn't like night catch me, like bridal style, but he was like, okay, all right, oh. And like I kind of like tumbled to the ground as opposed to plummeted directly through the ground. In the final sprint to the car, we have Yas with a limp. Yas with a cut on his cheek, like it's so rough. And then Jedi, fine, like maybe some dirt on his like jacket or something, like holding me up like super like soldier style. Like I'm too short for that method of support, so I'm like hobbling. It's a mess. And we didn't even do anything wrong. Yeah, that was my first college party. That's me thugging out here in these streets. I was pretty thugnificent until that last part. Like and subscribe. I'm trying to think of more stories that I could tell you guys. Okay, I'll put a poll right here for my next story time. I'm not sure if it's gonna be live action or animated. We'll see. I don't even know until it's done. Okay, I was an art major. And I want to know if you guys want to hear about the most mysterious, elusive, I still don't know what was happening, major called Art X. And they're, not to give too much away, but I'm just going to put it under the umbrella of performance art. Or would you like to know the top 3 craziest things I've ever done in art school? Let me know. I'll put the poll right here. Or is it over here? It's an I. It's literally the letter I, lowercase. Click it. Vote. Okay, you done? Okay. So yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications because YouTube doesn't want me to be great. Really trying to make this a thing. Help your girl out if you want. No press. Much press. And I'll see you in the next one. StarPuppy! Away!
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed the video.
So I like kind of like a cat